Detroit's unemployment rate, 12.7%. That compares with the national rate of 8.9%. Only half of Michigan counties had increases in population. The rest had declines.
There's new census data that finds the number of people living in the Motor City has plunged to a level not seen in more than a century.
This may be new to their neighborhood, but it's a problem that's been going on in Detroit for years. Abandoned, burned out houses, vacant factories, and overgrown parking lots. Now needle after needle left behind by people, they say, who come to Detroit to buy their drugs, park here, and leave the dangerous and dirty remnants behind.
Looking at what the tragedy of Detroit, a tragedy that was decades in the making, can tell us about America. The city of Detroit has lost nearly 2/3 of its population since its post-war peak. Back in 1950, nearly 2 million people called the Motor City home. Today, that number is barely above 700,000. The tax base in Detroit has utterly evaporated, and now it has become the largest U.S. city in history ever to file for bankruptcy.
Over 1 million people have left the Motor City.
The cars, various industries, and some of the most soul-thumping music of our time. Tonight, Detroit is a statistic.
This was inevitable.
The city of Detroit has an extraordinarily interesting and complex history, from the people who live there, the people who work there, and the people who are afraid to go there. Since the early part of the 20th century, Detroit has endured many economic and social changes. From championships to riots, Detroit has experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly. Detroit is a place where we have had it pretty tough, but there is a generosity here and a well of kindness that goes deep.
We all love Detroit, but loving a city means accepting its challenges. Like hungry children with no medical care, students with no place to study, homeless veterans, families with no work, seniors who lose their houses. At Say Detroit, we began fighting these problems one at a time until we realized they were all connected. And so we built a chain of charities to be there for Detroiters, from their youngest days to their oldest. Like Bright Beginnings, which provides infant daycare for mothers seeking work or coming through treatment. Like the Say Detroit Family Health Clinic, the nation's first free medical center devoted exclusively to homeless children. Say Detroit after-school programs in our proposed new rec center replace school activities that were shut down, like art, dance, music, and sports. And when needy students get older, our Dream Scholars program is there with 4-year scholarships to the prestigious College for Creative Studies. In return, recipients must create new art each summer to beautify our city. Say Detroit Veterans provide services for our brave soldiers who face severe challenges when they come home. And our Hole in the Roof Foundation provides physical repair for places of worship that aid the needy. Working Homes Working Families rehabs donated homes, then leases them to working couples with children. If they keep up the taxes and utilities for 2 years, we give them the keys. Say Detroit Seniors embraces our most precious and often most neglected citizens, providing housing, food, and medical needs for the elderly. And much of the labor for all our charities comes through generous citizens and company workers enrolled in our monthly Time to Help volunteer program. Since 1997, they've completed nearly 200 separate projects. Life is a journey. Say Detroit is there whenever our citizens need a little help, from the beginning to the golden years. And every dollar raised by Say Detroit goes straight to helping others, 100%. All administrative costs are paid privately. Visit saydetroit.org or mitchalbumcharities.com and be part of our city's comeback story. Say Detroit and say something amazing.
It's the best thing I do with my lunch hour once a week. I wish it lasted all year long. I wish it didn't end when school ended.
in business sometimes you have prospects or clients who beat you up or things don't go the way you want it to go, and then you go into a school district and see a child who's happy to see you, and it just changes your mood for the day.
Our mission really is to get every child across America someone reading to them on a regular basis, exposing them to vocabulary and background knowledge, increasing the chances that they're going to be successful in reading.
The growth is where they're not sitting there kind of mad that they have to read independently, but they're actually enjoying it. So the attitude that they're having towards reading has changed.
There's a lot going on in school. It's go, go, go. It's 6 hours, and we cram as much as we can into that 6 hours, and so to have them just have that time to relax with a good book over lunch is so special.
What's different about Read to a Child is we're focused on adults reading to a child consistently, which studies have shown is the single biggest thing you can do to help a child succeed in reading on their own.
He comes from a poor family and they have one small house. And every birthday he gets a chocolate. Charlie buys one and there's the gold wrapper. And everybody's like, oh my God, let me see, let me see, let me see. And he goes to Mr. Wonka's, and he's the only one who actually doesn't take everything and cares, and so Mr. Wonka gives the factory to Charlie. Well, one part he said, will you eat green eggs and ham in the dark? Will you eat green eggs ham in the rain? Will he eat it with a fox? At the end, he just tried it so he'll stop bugging him. And then after he tries it, he's, wow, this is good. I think about, how did Encyclopedia know that? And sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but I always look at the answers to make sure I'm right. His dad is Chief Brown, the best policeman in the whole country. He always comes home with a case, and Encyclopedia usually solves it over dinner. And that's why everyone thinks he's the great detective, but no one knows that the mastermind behind him is a 10-year-old boy.
John George called them the Santa Clara Seven. 7 vacant, blighted homes on the street in the old Redford neighborhood near Losser.
You want to take these down? Well, we do.
Brought down over the past couple of years. One of them by volunteers in a Detroit 2020 Blightbusters event. Now, this is what a stretch of Santa Clara Street looks like.
We've been able to do here with our funders and our volunteers is we've been able to coordinate an effort where all 7 of these abandoned homes, this negative energy has been removed from Santa Clara.
And come next spring, a small garden that sits on one nearby lot will be expanded and become Farm City Detroit. Kofi Royal will oversee it.
Essentially, Farm City Detroit will become an area that produces vegetables and herbs and spices. Some will be medicinal to combat some of the things like diabetes and hypertension.
The garden will feed the neighborhood. Some of those who will be working on it, veterans, will be moving into a 9-unit apartment building that Blightbusters bought and will be restoring. And George has his sights set on bigger things.
We'd like to solidify this space and then expand out a couple miles in each direction and either tear something down or fix something up. But at the end of the day, we want to have a new Detroit.
Back Alley Bikes is a not-for-profit community bicycle reuse and recycling center. So I would describe it. We take in donations from all over Metro Detroit, have been for 17 years now, and we repurpose them. Either we refurbish and sell them as Outlet Detroit in order to fund programs, or we build them up for kids and donate them back to the general public. We also host a bunch of educational programs for youth and adults. The flagship program is Youth Earn a Bike, where kids 10 to 17 can learn how to refurbish their own bike and then take it home with them when they're done. All in all, we go through about 1,200 bikes a year.
Welcome. You're at Back Alley Bikes. As you see, that's Cass right there. The hub is right behind that door, right over there. For new donations, they usually come in this way, through this hallway right here. Bike frames, bikes, wheels. This is our mail. We get that here. The hub gets it. This is a bike blender. Someone made it. They kind of welded a bunch of weird bike stuff together. So when you spin this little thing right here, attached to a blender, you kind of blend your fruit with it. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So Back Alley Bikes has been around for 15 years. It was a part of a summer program, and then kind of grew from that. Up here, these bikes they're really the nicer bikes that goes downstairs to be sold. And then this is our warehouse. It's separated from 26-inch bikes to 24 to 20 to smaller kids bikes.
Wow. How many bikes would you say you have like right now?
You know, people tell me more than 300, but it doesn't look like that. But it also looks like that, so I can't really tell. Definitely more than 100. Up there, we kind of, all those hooks we hang wheels off of. These are all our tires over here. Up there, on the stairs is the roof, which you can go up, but not you. These are all our parts, handlebars, stems, pedals. Over there is a shower stall where we keep all more wheels. Those are all forks up there. Cranks, you know, a bunch of helmets in those boxes that we got donated. Nowhere to put them, so we put them over there. So, here's our warehouse. I mean, not a warehouse, this is our workstation. There's 6 stands. They all should have all the tools that you need to fix a bike. There's a small parts area where we keep all the small stuff, like little bolts and nuts. You need trigger stands, and that's about it.
Some responsibilities I have to society include giving back to the community and volunteer work such as Back Alley Bikes.
I can effectively articulate my opinions and my perspectives by meeting new people and getting outside of my comfort zone and experiencing new things. I have learned how to communicate well with others. I've learned about problem-solving skills, and I've learned about...
wash hands, my hands are...
I don't think I'm really qualified to make that assessment. A world citizen to me is someone who exists on the planet, and it's not really up to me to say like who's good and who's bad. Does that answer your question?
By spreading positivity throughout my daily life and wherever I go. Involve myself in activities and clubs throughout my community and meet new people and develop more knowledge and more skills. I can make an important contribution to the world by taking part in small nonprofit organizations around the Metro Detroit area because a small organization can make a big difference.